You ever wake up and bam, before your eyes are even fully open, there it is, that wave of anxiety? It's a feeling so many of us know, but we just don't really talk about it. So today, we're going to dig into why that happens.
It's just this sudden, awful rush, isn't it? Your heart's just pounding, your mind's already racing with a million worries, and you get this heavy sense of dread. And you haven't even gotten out of bed yet. What a tough way to start the day.
Look, if any of this is hitting home for you, the number one thing I want you to hear is this. You are so not alone. This is way more common than you might think. So let's break down what's actually happening, the science behind it, and then, the really important part, we're going to talk about what you can actually do about it.
Okay, so what is this feeling? I mean, a little morning stress is, well, it's normal, right? We've all been there. But if this is happening to you a lot, if it's really messing with your routine, it might be tied to something more specific, something like Generalized Anxiety Disorder.
So, Generalized Anxiety Disorder, or GAD for short, is basically when you have this excessive worry that's just really hard to get a handle on, and it gets in the way of your life. A huge part of GAD is often trouble with sleep. Either you can't fall asleep or you can't stay asleep. And you can probably guess what happens next. That leads right into waking up already feeling anxious.
But why the morning specifically? What is it about waking up that just seems to crank up the anxiety dial? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is actually in our biology. It's all about our body's built-in stress response and one very important hormone.
All right, let's talk about cortisol. You've probably heard of it. It's the famous stress hormone. And yeah, its main gig is to get your body ready for action when there's a threat. That whole fight or flight thing. But here's the twist. It has another job. A day job, you could say.
Believe it or not, cortisol is basically your body's built-in alarm clock. Seriously. Its levels are supposed to go up in the morning. That's what pulls you out of sleep and makes you feel awake and alert. It's the biological signal that says, okay, time to get going.
This whole process has a name, the cortisol awakening response. Now, for most people, it's a pretty smooth ride. You just wake up. But if you're someone who's prone to anxiety, that natural surge can get a little, out of control. It's like your body hits the gas too hard, it overshoots, and suddenly you've got this flood of cortisol, and that's what triggers the racing heart and the dread and all of it.
But of course it's not just biology, right? Life happens. All the stuff going on around us, big stressors like losing a job or moving, or just those constant worries about money or relationships, all of that stuff sets the stage. And then you have things that can make it even worse, like drinking alcohol or dealing with depression at the same time. It's kind of like pouring gasoline on the fire.
Okay, now we have to talk about sleep. This is such a critical piece of the puzzle. The link between how you sleep and how you feel when you wake up is, it's huge, and it can turn into this nasty, vicious cycle that just keeps feeding itself.
So here's how it goes. Anxiety makes it super hard to get good sleep, right? Your mind is racing, you can't shut it off, maybe you keep waking up. Okay, so then, because you got terrible sleep, your brain and body are way more sensitive to stress the next day. Which, of course, just makes the anxiety even worse. You see the loop. It's a real trap, and it's tough to break.
And this isn't just a hunch, The science backs it up. Research is really clear. If your sleep is constantly getting messed up, you're just way more likely to have an anxiety disorder. It's a powerful reminder of how incredibly important sleep is for our mental health. All right, so that's the why of it. We get it. But now, let's get to the good stuff. What can you actually do about it? Let's build your personal toolkit for calmer mornings. These are real, practical things you can start trying right away.
So let's break it down into things to try and things to maybe avoid. On the try this side, you've got the heavy hitters. Regular exercise, stuff like meditation or yoga, and just eating a decent, healthy diet. These are all amazing for helping to calm your nervous system. And on the avoid side, it's a good idea to watch out for things that can wind you up even more, like alcohol, too much caffeine, you know the drill.
Okay, here's something you can use right in the moment. It's a breathing technique called 4-7-8 breathing. Super, super simple. You just breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 7 seconds, and then breathe out slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. That's it. Doing that just a few times literally tells your nervous system to chill out. It flips the switch from freak out mode to calm down mode. It tells your body, hey, we're safe. Now, all these tools are fantastic. They really are. But it's also super important to know when you might need a little more backup. So let's talk about when it might be time to get some professional help.
So how do you know? What's the sign? It's pretty straightforward, really. If this feeling has become your new normal,
and it's starting to affect your daily life, your job, your friendships, your ability to just enjoy things, that's your signal. That's the sign that it's time to reach out and talk to someone.
And please, know that there are so many options. A really good place to start is just your regular doctor, just to make sure nothing else is going on physically. From there, you can look into talking with a therapist or a counselor. They have amazing tools that can help, like CBT, or they can talk about whether medication might be a good fit for you.
So if you remember just one thing from all of this, I want it to be this. Waking up with anxiety is so common. It's an understandable reaction from your body and your mind. And the most important part, it is totally 100% manageable. You can get a handle on this. So I'll leave you with this question. You don't have to fix everything overnight. That's not how this works. But what's one small thing, just one tiny step, you could take to have a slightly calmer morning tomorrow? Maybe it's just trying that 4-7-8 breathing thing. Maybe it's making a call. Whatever it is, just know that a better morning is possible. It's really within your reach. Thanks for joining us.